Hi everyone, Brian Eschelbrenner here to go over a question about how I make the randomized data for testing in the demos that I do appear. I get this question a lot, and some people ask me more than once, and after explaining it over and over, I thought it would be best to make a video that packages it all up. So here we go. So the tool I'm using is called Phrase Express, and it saves me a ton of time every day by creating text for demonstration and testing, and it also generates text strings that I type frequently. It synchronizes through Dropbox on all of my devices, and best of all, it's free. So if you haven't seen what I'm talking about before, let me give you a quick demo here. I'm filling out a new contact record in the CRM, and I'll type, instead of a real last name, I'll type random last space, comes up with the last name Hart. Jump over the first name field, random first, Hilda. So I get Hilda Hart. I can also do things like come up with a random phone number. There we go. A very realistic looking phone number. I can do random address. And it gives me a realistic address with a city-state zip combination. Oh, that wasn't the best example because of Santa Fe. Let's try that again, just so we can see what it looks like. It's Pensacola, Florida, 32509. That's a valid zip code city combination. I can also use it for randomly generating a whole lot of data into a text file. For example, if I want to use it to generate 1,000 policy records to be imported through the CSV import, boom, there we go, and I can run it through the import. It's already formatted nicely to work. It also works across all applications, and it's very handy for things when I'm typing an email. For example, when I want to include my cell phone number in an email, if I'm writing a sentence like, "You can call me on my cell phone," when it sees my cell phone, it ends up writing out the actual cell phone number afterwards. Another handy thing that I do is often when I'm writing an email to an external party that wants to book a meeting with me, they're asking, when am I available in the upcoming week? They can't see my calendar, so I'll type, "Here is my availability," and ends up replacing it with this, which does not show the actual openings in my calendar, but at least gives me the days of the week and start and end time formatted nicely, so I can tweak this very quickly and show them the openings in the upcoming week instead of having to type that whole thing out every single time. Another way that I use it is when I want to copy and paste into an email or some other document where the formatting and style is important to me, but the source I'm copying from has a different one. So if I was to highlight something from a web page and then go paste it into this document, it would copy the style of the web page source that it came from. There's no shortcut key for pasting without style, but I have created that function in Phrase Express, so when I do it like this, I get the text into my email without the style, and I don't have to leave the keyboard to do it. Another way I use it is to randomly generate a relatively strong password for people when I need to generate a password for them. So I don't have to do like ABC123 anymore. I can give them something like random password 0GY5GN3GG4. You got a combination of numbers and letters, uppercase and lowercase. And finally, I use it for entire long-form emails when there's a form letter template I need to use. And this is handy because often when you're using a template in Outlook, you need to start with a new email. But if you want to reply to somebody and just have a longer form email in the reply, I can use Phrase Express to do it much better. Boom, there's my welcome email for joining Smart Integrator development. To show you how quick and easy it is to install Phrase Express and get it up and running, I've uninstalled from my machine now, and I'm going to step you through getting caught up and actually being able to create your own shortcut phrases. So you go to the download page, which look in the notes below, you'll see a link for it. Click here to download it and then install it. Now that it's downloaded, you can run through just the vanilla installation. There's no bloatware or anything going on with it. Once you got Phrase Express downloaded, installed, and running on your machine, you can click the link below to get to the database of phrases that I've created for those random tools like last name, phone number, addresses, and others. Once you've got the random tools database downloaded, you can open up Phrase Express by going into your sys tray to the icon, right-clicking on it, and selecting Edit Phrases. Highlight Phrase Express in the phrases and folders, and then go to File, Import, Phrase Express Phrase File. By looking in your Downloads folder, and opening up the database, it will add a new Random Tools folder to your Phrase Express library. And then after clicking OK, you can use it. So for example, random last, random first, random address, random phone. Okay, for a quick primer on how to use Phrase Express, you can always pop open the phrase library and pick something off of it by using Alt-Space. So we brought this up, we can go into Random Tools, we can look through all of the random tools, and we can do stuff like launching the random full name, Lily Roth. Now, to figure out what phrase you need to type for any of the phrases that you've already installed, you can get to it by once again going back to the Edit Phrases dialog and looking through them. What you want to type is in the auto text section. It's showing you what you would type to actually launch that phrase. So we see random job title here is just random job title, all one word, random job title. And there you go, Senior Communications Administrator. Now, let's look at creating a new phrase. Let's say, for example, that you are often typing that somebody should call tech support and you want to give them the phone number and the hours that technical support is open, but you don't want to have to type it out every single time. So we're going to make a phrase that shortens that. To do that, we're going to once again go back to the Edit Phrases dialog. With the Phrase Express item highlighted, we're going to click on the New Phrase button and it's going to bring up a new phrase over here. And we're going to call this tech support number and time. Down here at the auto text, we're going to write what we want to type to have the string appear. In this case, I'm just going to put the natural phrase call technical support. And then we're going to click on the Expert Mode button to switch on to some of the better features here. First thing we're going to mess around with is this postfix selection. What this is saying is that if you type the auto text, what is the key you want to type afterwards that actually launches it to replace your text with the full text that you want to expand to? Here I'm going to select space, meaning that when I type call technical support space, it will replace my phrase. Down below it says case-sensitive auto text. I'm going to turn that off because if I don't remember to capitalize technical or support, or if I accidentally capitalize call, I want this still to work. And finally, I'm going to tag remove trailing delimiter, meaning that the space I type after the string needs to be removed when the string gets replaced. So my full phrase is call technical support at 626-585-3515 Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Now I don't need to type that all out. All I need to type is call technical support. I click OK to save it, and now it should be up and running. I suggest that you call technical support space. Technical support at 626-585-3515 Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. I never have to type that out again. Now we're going to look at making one of those randomized value strings. So in this case, I'm going to do one that we're going to type expiration date. And in this case, the auto text will be random exp date, postfix space, make it not case sensitive, and remove the trailing delimiter. And now we get into the magic of the phrase content. We're going to use the randomize tools here. So what I'm going to attempt to do is make it so it will generate a date within the next 10 years that is always in the future. To make the first part of this, which is going to be the month, it's got to be a number between 1 and 12. I'm going to right click in the phrase content area, select macro, come down to programming, and we're going to select calculate expression. In this case, I'm going to start with the number 1 plus a random number between 1 and 11. The reason for this is because I need the number to actually be 1 through 12, but when you do a random number in Phrase Express, it always starts at 0. So we need to bump it up 1 and go from 1 to 11, so we end up with something that is actually 1 through 12. Now to get a random 1 through 11, I right-click in this field for the expression, go to Programming, and select Random Number. Here it asks, output a random integer between 0 and the value specified. We say 11, we click OK. And down here at the bottom, select round 2 to adapt to input to drop the trailing, and we see we get a number 11 as one of the examples of what it could be. So we click OK there. Now this first spot will be a number between 1 and 11. Also, if you wanted it to be a 2-digit month, you could select 2 as the left-hand zeros, and it'll always give you either a 2-digit number or a 1-digit number with a 0 prefix on it. Next, I'm going to do the same thing for days, only I'm going to be a little bit clever here. I'm going to do 1 through 27, so even if you're in February on a non-leap year, the day you pick is going to be valid no matter what random month it generates. You could make this a little bit fancier and get all the real dates in there, but I'm not going to bother. It's not that important. So macro, programming, calculate expression, 1 plus, right click, programming, random number, 27, OK. Left-hand zeros 2, round to adapt to input, and OK. For the year, we're going to use a little trick here where we're going to put in the current year, and then we're going to add 1 to it, and then we're going to add a random 0 through 9 to it. That way, everything will be 2017 to 2027. To do that, we right-click here, go to Macro, Programming, Calculate Expression. Start the expression with date time, formatted date time, year. So it's showing you 2016, the current year. That's what it means. It's always going to put in for this first value. We're going to add the number 1, and then we're going to add a random number, 0 through 9. Right-click, Programming, Random Number, 9. Okay. We don't need any left-hand zeros this time. We want to round to adapt to input, so it's always a 4-digit number. clicking OK, and now it should work. So let's give it a try. Random EXP dates. November 26, 2025, random EXP date. October 9th, 2017, random EXP date. May 17th, 2023. Lastly, we're going to look at one more cool application of Phrase Express, and that is to randomly select a value from a list. So in this example, let's just say that I type a lot of emails, and in my emails, I like to put in compliments for people, but my compliments get a little bit stale. So what I've done is I've made a list of compliments that I want to put in, and I want to make a code that randomly selects one of my compliments and throws it into the email. So to do that, once again, we're going to go in and we're going to create a new phrase. So to do this one, we're going to start by importing our list. In this case, highlight Phrase Express and do File, Import again, only we're going to select a CSV file. And I've got a CSV file right here that has my list of compliments in it. So we select that and it brings up the list to show you. And you can just click OK to bring them all in. And now you've got your list of compliments inserted into the database. Now you're going to make a new phrase, highlight Phrase Express first, and we're going to say random compliment. And that'll be our auto text also. Random complement, postfix space, not case sensitive, remove the trailing delimiter. And we get in here, we're going to select macro again. And in this time, we're going to select insert phrase. And here we'll use the folder option to find our complements list in the list of all the phrases, which is going to be towards the bottom. So you highlight the folder, you click OK, and then you've got 3 radio buttons here. Select the one that says automatically select a phrase by random, click OK, and you're done. Click OK. So now, as you're typing the email, so hi Zoe, random compliment. You're always on time to things, which is awesome because I'm not. Random compliment. Look at the big brain on you. Hopefully you find that helpful. Hopefully you install the tool and start using it because it saves me a lot of time and I'd like it to save you a lot of time. For any more ideas of what you can accomplish with Phrase Express, click the link below to their documentation showing all of their examples. Thanks.